Today we're going to be looking at a new brand for my channel, and that is Underground Cosmetics. And I just wanted to show this box because I thought it was so cute. It just fits it like perfectly. Like, how adorable. So this brand was introduced to me through my request form, actually. Someone explained that apparently every dye from this brand is UV reactive and lights up under a blacklight, which is really unique because most brands, if they have a UV reactive color, they're usually very bright and they're usually on the warmer side, like yellows, greens, pinks, oranges, stuff like that. But this brand has a very wide variety of colors and depth as well. So there are like darker purples and turquoises and blues that all are supposed to be UV reactive. But not only that, they have mixing mediums. Pretty sure they have a black one and a white one, which also contain the UV reactive ingredient, whatever that is. So hypothetically, you should be able to mix this with any dye to make it UV reactive. I think that's pretty cool. So on the top of each swatch, I do want to mix this with a dye to see what happens. But on the bottom of each swatch, I'm just going to put this on the hair directly and see what happens. For the top half, I wanted a dye that we know is not UV reactive and darker. So I ended up just going with Arctic Fox's Purple Rain, or now known as Purple AF. And I wanted to just quickly show the comparison. But as you can see, this is equal parts of dye and this. It really didn't lighten it up too crazily. I do have the dye a little bit thicker on some spots over here. So if you look at the spots where it's a little thinner, kind of like this, it doesn't really look too far off. But that is a warning that because this is light, it will lighten it. But like I said, they do have a black. So maybe I'll try that one next if anyone is interested. I don't know. And also, before we get into the dyeing aspect, I did just want to see what it looks like. I swatched it by itself on a paper towel. So I can kind of see the spot that it's on, but it's obviously clear. So I'm gonna use my UV light. I don't know how well my camera will pick it up, but I figured we could try it and see. Oh my goodness. So hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. It is very bright, which is really cool. And that makes me excited to think that it might actually do something on the swatches without any color in them at all. So my swatches are human hair swatches, but the only one that is virgin hair is the number 4 black swatch. Rest have been chemically colored or bleached at some point in their existences. I decided to go with a darker color once again for our colored swatch, so I'm doing a dark blue. 2 is gray, 3 is a natural red, again 4 is black, so 4 to 11 is a range that goes to a platinum blonde, and then 12 is like a toned version of number 11. So like I said, I'm going to apply the purple mix on the top, and that is a equal parts mix. So that is 1 part dye to 1 part illuminate. I do quickly want to say that everyone's hair is different, which means everyone's hair will take color differently. Also, different screens and monitors and stuff can make colors look a little different. So please just use my video as a reference for how something like this could turn out for you. As for smell, it has a very faint smell. It almost smells kind of floral, and it's a very thick consistency. And something I noticed about thicker dyes is that it takes a little bit longer to work it into the hair, so you may end up using more. For the bottom, we're just gonna straight apply the Illuminate. I normally let these things sit for 3 hours because I want the color to absorb, but since I'm not as worried about color as I am with the UV consistency, and it's clearly UV on its own without sitting, so I think I'm gonna let this sit for an hour. I will then rinse it out. When it's dry, I'll meet you back here and we'll look at it under a black light. So we will look at this under a black light in just a moment, but I did want to compare this to the Arctic Fox Purple AF or Purple Rain on its own first, because I want to see if the Illuminate dye lightened this up any. So this is comparable to number 12, number 11, number 10, and number 9. All right, so I put a piece of paper on top just so the diluted sections don't get in the way and are not distracting. I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference on camera or not. So to me, on the number 11 and the number 9 swatch, the one mixed with the Illuminate does look just a hair lighter, but then on the number 12 and the 10, it looks nearly the same. So if you're purely just trying to get a glowy effect, it seems as though using equal parts of both shouldn't lighten it up too much, which is really great because there's not a lot of darker neon colors that I know of anyways. So now I'd like to do the black light over the swatches, but I will say that sometimes my camera has a really hard time picking up on the differences, especially under a black light, because I've tried it in the past. So I feel like part of the problem right now is that having the white background glowing so brightly in comparison, it's making it kind of hard to see, because I did try putting the black light over my swatches after the hair was done and I could see a glow, but I'm kind of struggling to see the glow now. So I'm gonna try and see if I can switch this out. I am so thankful I found a black background I can use. So let's try this again. Yeah, hopefully you can see now. I mean, again, I don't know if my camera is gonna pick it up that well, but this is definitely glowing. So I'm gonna put the Arctic Fox ones back down and hopefully we can see the difference there too. So it looks to me like the Underground Cosmetics dye has a blue neon base. So I'm assuming that regardless of what you mix this with, it should look blue under a black light. But now I'm kind of curious, if I mixed it with a yellow dye, would it then look green under a black light or still glow blue? That's really interesting, a question on my mind. So I've noticed that blonde hair regardless does usually glow under a black light, so you can kind of see it shining through my nails under the Arctic Fox one, but when I shine it over the top part, it doesn't really glow the way that it's glowing with the Underground Cosmetics mixed in. And then as we get darker, you can still see some glow on here, and you know, technically this is kind of glowing too. I think 5 and oh, whoa. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see it, but the part with the dye on it looks darker. Like, it almost looks like the Underground Cosmetics is making it glow at the bottom, which is really crazy. So it does come with a little paper explaining that your hair should be lightened if you use this stuff, but I wanted to test it just to see. Now it does kind of seem like the darker your hair gets, the less glow you'll have, but there is still a slight glow on both the top and the bottom. It's just when you get to like at 9 and lighter, it's just really in your face, and probably what the brand is, you know, assuming you want. And even this dark blue one, even down here, it's like glowing quite a bit. This is the natural red. It does not look red under the Blacklight at all. So really it looks like 4, 5, and 6 have the least glow. 7 and 8 have a little bit of glow, and then 9 and lighter have the most as for the dyed part. And they all have their own type of glow on the bottom half. Just gets less and less intense the darker the hair gets. I'm kind of mad that I didn't realize I had this background until now, because I've done a lot of UV dyes that was really hard to record because I think the white background I was using. But yeah, it really does work. That is so cool. If you guys want me to, I will mix this with other dyes in the future. It just would probably be a shorter video, like an extra video where I only do it on a blonde swatch now that we know how it reacts over the darker swatches. So feel free, you can always request that in the comments, or I do have a link below to a Google form. By the way, I hear somebody like revving an engine somewhere over and over and over again. I don't know what they're doing. Sorry if that was in the video at all and distracting, but I hope this video helped. Again, if you have a request, I do have a link below to a Google form you can fill out, but again, I only do brands that do not test on animals. Thank you so much to my patrons, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.